everybody, welcome back to Regal Metalworks. Today we're going to be working on the Bruce. If you're familiar with Send It Steve, it is his K-Blazer framed 4x4 that has a Civic Si body on it. And he brought it to us to do a simple roll cage in it because if you saw the video, he did manage to roll over 2 cars, and there's no protection inside of that vehicle. Not to mention how the chassis is actually mounted to the frame. So he brought it to us to basically just do a simple roll cage, and that's what we're going to do. And we're going to go ahead and show you how we're going to go about doing that and what our plans are for that. But first, coffee. No, we're not doing one of those lame coffee montages. Nope. Oh. That was so much fun. Let's do it again. Take this guy out. Not gonna lie, that was a workout. There's no power steering it. And turning 44s is a chore. There she is. There's Bruce. She is, I believe, an 82 Blazer frame, K2 or something like that, with a 2006 Suburban motor tranny in it. I'm not sure what the axles are, if that's off the Blazer or not, but they're definitely heavy duty axles. And it has a Civic frame on it. And let's see if we can get you in here a little bit better. See, this is the one mounting point for the Civic to the frame. And it's a little sketchy, but it works. There was 2 other mounting points up here, but the one on this side is gone, I believe, since he rolled it. The other side, I think there's still something in there. Let's take a look there. And it looks like a bunch of tie-down straps holding the front on. Yeah, pretty sketchy. There's no power steering to this thing. And rolling at 5 miles per hour, if that, is very difficult to turn. These are 44s by like something like, I don't know, 19 wide. It's a big tire with no power assist. It's a bear to move. So let's take a look inside here and see what we're getting into. So It has the GMC interior in it, and when I say interior, I mean steering column and electrics. It has all the Civic Honda seats and everything. It has this wonderful GM floor mat to keep your butt dry. And this is all just roofing rubber. It's screwed down. It looks like they cut out this whole section of the floor to fit the V8. And yes, that's the V8 right there. Let me get some light and we can shed some on this better. All right, that's a little bit better. We got some light on it. You can see right away. Header bolt is missing. I don't know if it's broke off or it just rattled itself out. Firing this thing up, I mean, it's just open headers on it. There's fumes and everything coming inside of here. This thing is sketchy at best. This whole thing here, which is Thunderbar, you can see, moves around, and being that there's no power assisted steering, you really have to crank on that to get it to move. And it's moving all around your hand, 6 inches or so. Yeah, it's a little scary, not gonna lie. So I guess they pulled all the wiring in through here. They moved some of the stuff back here behind the driver's seat. They put the battery right here. It's not bolted down or anything. We're actually gonna have to remove that for the time being. I'm not even sure what all that wiring is. There's like a tow hitch brake controller back there. There's all kinds of stuff in this. I don't think he cleaned it out since he rolled it over. We did pull the headliner out. It had a bunch of black mold in it. I'm not working around that. We had a choice to pull out the sunroof. He did say you could pull it out if you want, but it adds some structural to that roof. And not to mention it has drains on it, so the water that does catch doesn't come inside the car. And trust me, there's plenty of water inside this car. And the less water we can get in it, the better. It's really hard to see out this windshield. I mean, it's almost impossible. He did mention about removing it. I don't want to remove it because it is at such a slope that you'll have this huge basin of water to catch that will be coming down on all the electronics, and this thing would end up never running again. You'd be chasing gremlins. I mean, they got the Lingenfelter. It looks like some sort of fuel controller over there, stuffed into there. I mean, that stuff will all get wet. It's not going to want to work. Yeah, sorry about that. Maybe you can see it there now. I have a wide angle lens on so we can see this stuff up close. But so he originally wanted a roll cage in here. Let's go over to the other side. All right, so we're going to have to remove that battery. And originally we discussed about running a roll cage through the floor here. So it would come down through the floor right there and then welding it to this frame. Which, I'm not really against, but after looking at this a lot closer and seeing how this body is barely mated to this frame, I think it would be a bad idea. Mainly because this body at any time, if he rolls it over, could shift, and he wants to strap in to the harness bar on the roll cage. And, well, the roll cage is going to be attached to the frame, and the body is going to be attached to the car chassis, which is not connected to the frame very well. So then you become a stress point. In other words, the belts could put a lot of tension and pressure on you if this body shifted. That would be no bueno. So we're going to go ahead and we were originally, yesterday I was thinking we could weld to these floors, but there is an insulating, like a Dynamat that's attached to here. It's like a tar, it's real heavy. And we have to scrape through all that. And honestly, this is probably like 26 gauge sheet metal. So what we came up with is we're going to sandwich this. We're actually going to bolt the cage in. We're going to sandwich it between two 3/16 inch plates. So we'll be able to sandwich down through all that. That'll also keep us from, because water puddles in here, and if we remove all that, rust is going to start getting in here, and then everything's going to fall through the floor. So I figured this was going to be a better option. Also, there's two mounts here on this side and over there that we could make a bracket to attach to, and that looks like a pretty solid mount, and that looks like some sort of bracket for the rear seat. So I think we'll be all right with that. Up front here, we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to just sandwich two 3/16 inch plates to the floor, and our bar will be welded to that. So it'll be plenty strong for what he's doing. This thing is locked out in 4-wheel drive low. I mean, top speed might be 10 miles per hour if you're lucky. So with that being said, we don't need to make this thing a high-speed turnover vehicle. We just need to basically keep it from crushing the roof and crushing down on him and him being thrown around the vehicle. So 4 mounting points to the floor will be enough, and we'll also mount here, so it'll actually technically be 6. And we're doing a simplistic hoop here in the back with 1 crossbar that he's going to use for his harness. We are then going to go up here along this line. We're going to try and tuck it inside of here, and then we're going to bring it here and then right down to here. He had mentioned he wanted a bar across here so we can attach the steering column, which also attaches the pedals, so we'll make a bracket that comes off there that bolts to that or welds to that. And then I'll probably do another bar across here so they have some more structural support. Now ideally, if we were doing full cage, we would actually close this in here with like an X member or a low boy or something like that, where that will add for side impact and make the bottom of the cage tighter. But the budget's not calling for that, and you know, that's something that we can easily add at a later date. Now, most of the time when you do a roll cage, the whole interior has to come out to do it correctly. It's very time consuming, but with the budget build on this whole entire thing, we're just going to work around everything, and I don't think we're going to have any issues. All right, we're just going to go ahead and stop that video there. I got enough footage to actually split this up into 3 sections. It's a little easier to digest 10-minute intervals instead of a 30-minute or 45-minute video. That way you don't get bored with it. So if you enjoyed what you saw, or you want to see the progress as we go along in the fabrication, feel free to subscribe and hit that notification button up there in the corner. And we'll see you next time. All right, peace.
So bring your A game, 'cause you know this party won't stop. We could never run out of time, sipping strawberry lime.